stolen Charlotte's coat because it's freezing and windy. Charlotte is insisting that we walk down this terrifying looking, creepy pathway that's next to the van.
So it looks like it's the pathway to death going up there.
It looks pretty steep as well.
I'm going to die and die unfit.
little rest break.
There's nothing more welcoming than the greeting sign of tsunami shelter.
Well,
it makes you feel at comfort and at ease.
tsunami just come up here. No,
So we're saved. Charlotte was telling us if there's a tsunami, run down there. She's wrong.
Well,
Yes.
because if you watch back the footage of the earthquake, lots of people went up to a high shelter, but then they were stuck up there because nobody came to save them.
Oh god.
So it's ideal to
You've really
go down.
really sold me this place.
And drive away.
You said you get about 20 minutes.
I would say about, once
After
you
a big
feel a
earthquake.
big earthquake, depending on where the epicenter was, I'd say you have about 20 minutes before the tsunami hits the shore.
It's mad to think that this is a place that was affected by the 2011 tsunami. It's so beautiful here. You wouldn't think that there was such destruction here and 20,000 people lost their lives. It's so hard to wrap your head around. From what Charlotte said, because there's all these little islands, it actually stopped a lot of the tsunami from really damaging this area. Except where we're parked right now, there's a cove, so that got hit quite hard. But up here, for example, and the town didn't get too badly damaged because all these tiny little islands just helped to break the tsunami up. I didn't have such high hopes for Sendai or like Miyagi as, you know, a beauty place. But this is probably the best place we've been on our trip in terms of natural beauty. The landscape is so unique here. These trees look so cool. Where they planted these trees like exactly the same length apart. Like it's just so perfectly done. And then the sea is so blue and clear. It's like it doesn't feel real. Prior to the earthquake in 2011, they used to extract camellia oil from these plants in this region. It's sad to think that they don't anymore or can't anymore. Maybe a lot got destroyed, but they're such beautiful plants. I think this is my favourite colour. Even though the pink's a lot more bright, it's really good against the green, dark green leaves.
After flying the drone, it's a well-deserved treat. The Melon Pan. Charlotte's favourite treat of them all.
I actually don't like it.
Yeah, I've never had it before.
No,
but,
I've seen it.
It's not horrible, but I
looks
would
very
never
sugary.
choose to eat it. Yeah, it's very sweet.
Is it coconut?
I honestly just think it's bread with lots of sugar.
Because of the name Melon Pan, I always thought it was like melon flavoured.
It tastes like a sugary 7-Eleven croissant.
Yeah, actually, it smells like that. I don't like it.
No?
No.
Do you like it, Dom?
Not really, no. It's like a croissant gone wrong.
Quite depressing.
Right.
The only good thing is the sugar on top.
To be fair, there are good melon pans. Like, if you go to a shop that does fresh ones, sometimes they'll fill it with cream or something. Those are really nice. But the ones you can get from the convenience are like...
But then it's like it's stale in the middle. That's,
Right?
that's what you think.
The top is alright, but then the rest of it.
Yeah, it's very crumbly.
Boring.
No, you need a fresh one. Sometimes they stuff them with ice cream. Those ones are good.
Ice cream.
Ice cream and like honeycomb. Those ones are nice.
Just drove into town to come get some Starbucks. There wasn't a whole lot on the island where we were parked, so it's been a 20-minute drive to get to Starbucks in the actual Matsushima Town. But first we're gonna go in this little gift shop, see what they got. This little guy is the mascot for either Miyagi or Sendai. It's an onigiri rice ball. Apparently they make a lot of seaweed in this area, and that's where that stems from.
Miyagi. Sendai, Miyagi, Kangoo, Sendai and Miyagi? But this isn't Sendai and they sell it here, so it must be all of Miyagi.
I kind of like it. You don't like it, do you?
No, I think it's ugly. There's much cuter mascots.
Yeah, what do you take?
Soy sauce dishes that are different layers, so they look like a.
Oh wow, when you pour it in. I've never seen anything like that before. That's really cool.
None of them look like Mara. Those are really cute. Oh, there's the dogs down there. Do they have a pug?
No, I think it's
they're
just
all Shiba.
Shiba. If we go to Starbucks, what we normally get is a matcha frappuccino with double shot espresso. It's really good if you like matcha and coffee.
That's so much better than without coffee. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I know. It works together really well.
You wouldn't think that matcha and coffee would be a good combo, really. Like tea and coffee, but it's so good. It tastes like chocolate.
1 hour later.
International license.
Definitely there.
Where's my actual license?
It quickly went downhill after we had Starbucks when we went to see the actual Matsushima Town. We parked up in the car park there, and it's important to note it was very windy. And it was the wind that ruined it all. We pulled into this car park, and because it was in the Matsushima Town, it was a bit more busy than where we'd been before. Pulled up into a parking space, which it fit in fine, but there was a car next to us. You've gone to open the door, right? Like, just a little bit to see how much room there was to get out.
Yeah, so I was opening the door, but then I realised I still had my seatbelt on, so I took my hand off the door and unplugged my seatbelt, and in that second of unplugging the seatbelt, a gush of wind just flew the door and it hit the car park next to me. First thing I did was I got out and looked to see if there was any damage, and I couldn't really see anything. And then suddenly this Japanese woman came out the back of her car, I think, and then she just started shouting at me in Japanese. And then she looked at the car and pointed to a mark, and I was like, hold on, that's because there was like a few marks on like the panel near where the door hit, and I basically rubbed it off with my thumb. But then there was another mark that didn't rub off. 3 hours, nearly £3,000. So I was asking her, can you translate it on Google? And then she's got aggressive. She just kept shouting. And in the end, I went into the van and said, Charlotte, what should we do?
No, but just before you brought Charlotte out, the husband came out, the husband of this woman, and he was saying like, oh, don't worry about it.
He was pretty friendly. But then when Charlotte came out, it's like it all changed. Like, she never mentioned the police before, but as soon as Charlotte came out, we must call the police. She called the police and they arrived and came out. They lined up the door with the mark and got his measuring tape out and measuring it. Then he wanted to know, like, you know, see all my paperwork, like for insurance. Then they had to phone the insurance company from the hire company.
But it's important to note that the police themselves were really friendly and they were not at fault at all. Like, it was the best sort of police experience I've ever had, where they were just really friendly.
But it was a very long process though. They're very thorough, and there's lots of
procedures and
then because he opened the international driver's license, then he couldn't understand it, so then he had to find a document. And then it looked like, I think it was like either the man's father or he came, had a look, and just sort of laughed like, "What? This is what all this is about? Like some silly mark." This woman just had a bee in her bonnet. But well, in my opinion, I think it all changed when Charlotte came out. She got even, I mean, don't get me wrong, she was annoyed and she was shouting at me. But as soon as Charlotte came out, it was just like complete like switch of let's call the police and like getting even worse. I think maybe she wasn't so keen on foreigners and especially foreign women. And apparently car insurance claims take a long time, so we've lost our deposit pending the claim, but we don't know when that's going to happen. But it was a Mercedes that we hit, unfortunately, so I mean...
So paintwork will cost more.
Paintwork's going to cost a lot more.
So we have a deposit on the large van of about £2,000 in pounds, and it's being held until this whole insurance claim goes through.
Generally, if they're going to claim, they'll claim for everything. So the rental car, like loss of earnings if they can't go to work, like, you know, all this. So we basically lost that £2,000, but really, like, that £2,000 was our remaining budget.
Yeah, it really ate into our sort of budget for the trip, because we weren't expecting for To lose the deposit.
While we were in there waiting for the police to do that, well, we had to wait for them to turn up, and then when they're doing we're paying like per minute on the parking.
No, but also we're like across the road from the best viewpoint in Matsushima, and the sun's going down. It's a great sunset, and we're so close to seeing the best bit of Matsushima. It was really annoying because it was such a nice day. Police don't sort that kind of thing back home.
It's a civil matter.
It seemed kind of strange that
but they classed it as a traffic collision. A traffic collision, and he said to me, "Oh, don't worry, you're not going to prison." I was like, "Going to prison? I'm just the wind." I said, "The wind did it. It wasn't even me." But
it was your door though. So.
But anyway, as you can see, we're back in Nora. No wind. I'll be holding on for dear life. Make sure you like, subscribe, notifications bell on. See ya.
See you in the next one.